Okay, so it's Sunday morning. I'm at the washateria trying to get some clothes washed. I got here kind of early. There wasn't nobody here yet, which was surprising because I wasn't super early, but it's starting to get daylight now, so a couple of cars have rolled in. I've got like 5 loads in the washer. I probably got 10 minutes left before I got to start going back in and putting those in the dryer. Anyway, what is on the docket for today? Is that a saying? I don't know, because I'm not a lawyer. I've got to record a podcast. I do a podcast with my friend Kristen. It's called Here Watch This. And we don't like record together. It's not like a conversation kind of podcast. We each record separately and then just paste it together. But basically what we do is we take turns picking a theme, and then we each pick a TV show that fits that theme and then swap episodes. And I watch the episode she picked, she watches the episode I picked, and then we give our thoughts on it, and that's kind of it. And she edits her part, I edit my part, and then I throw some sound bites in it. We take turns like recording the intro, and I like put music to it or whatever. I've already got my intro and outro done because it was my turn to record that. I don't have my notes done for the episode yet, and I haven't picked out sound bites. But our theme this time was hostage situations, and it's supposed to go out on Tuesday, but it may be the next Tuesday because I want to make sure she has time to listen to it after I get it edited. Hopefully I can get that done today. I think she's off tomorrow, but I hate for her to have to listen to stuff on her day off because that just feels like work. But anyway, that's probably going to be the video today. I'll kind of show how I record podcasts. Okay, I cannot stress enough how much I love this little Ulanzi MT44 mini tripod because it has come in handy. But anyway, I said I was going to show you how I like record a podcast. I use Adobe Audition, which is, kind of an expensive method. Like, I'm not professional enough to justify paying for a Creative Cloud subscription, really. And I use Photoshop, I use Premiere, I use several of the software that's included in the bundle, but I'm not a professional anything, so it's kind of expensive, although, I guess when you break it down into all the separate software things that you get, it's not that much per thing. I just don't use all of them, but I really like the Adobe products. I've, used them for years, so I'm used to them. Not that I've mastered any of them. But I'm pretty familiar with audio editing with Adobe Audition. Yeah, so I spend a lot of money unnecessarily, but these are things that make me happy. Like creating stuff this way just makes me happy. So that's why I do it. But, I realize I'm poor. I will not always be able to play around with this kind of stuff. So that kind of makes me sad. Hopefully it'll be like, there'll be like free versions when I get to that point, which I should be saving money now for that point. But you know what? You only live once. I might not be alive to get to that point. Yeah, so I am using a Samsung Q2U microphone. This is a USB microphone. It's also got a place for XLR inputs, like regular microphone cable, which sometimes I use with my other Shure microphone. I think it's a SM57 with a like foam windscreen on it. I just got this Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 or whatever you call this thing this year that you can plug microphones in. It's really nice, but I'm not going to use it today because my ears can't really tell a difference in the audio, and I can tell this is going to be wordy. It's just convenient, like using USB. Although, like if I was live streaming or something, I probably wouldn't use this microphone because there's like a volume issue. It's like got low volume for some reason in Windows 10, which is what I have. Anyway, this is Adobe Audition. So I've got it set up to use this microphone. I'm just going to record a little bit, and let me find my notes. Hostage situations. Okay, there we go. Let me start recording, and I try to stay about like that far away from the microphone. Where are my notes that I'm basically going to be reading? So the theme was hostage situations, and this was a really good point for me to start repeating shows because ER has a really good hostage episode. In fact, Juliana Margulies' performance in that particular episode that I'm thinking about was nominated for an Emmy. The award ended up going to Gillian Anderson for The X-Files, which also had some great hostage episodes. But I decided to go with this Matt Houston episode, partly because I didn't have time to watch anything else, and partly because I was heavily influenced by Lee Horsley's hair. It is glorious. I do remember watching Matt Houston as a kid, but I only remembered one episode, which was the one I intended to pick for this series, but I haven't figured out which episode that is yet. I'll know it when I see it, because I do remember one part of the episode. That's basically how I remember shows from my childhood. Like, I'll just remember one scene from one episode usually, even though I may have even watched, you know, the entire run or something. I also remember having a Matt Houston toy car, like the Hot Wheels size. It was the Excalibur Roadster. I don't know what that means. I don't know what kind of car that is. Although, looking at pictures of it online, I don't remember it looking exactly like that. It's kind of cheap looking. But anyway, let's hear what Kristen has to say about this episode. Okay, so that is my little intro there. Usually first thing I do is go into the editing mode, which I really like. This, I had another, I can't remember, what was Cool Edit Pro? Did that end up becoming Adobe Audition, or was that something else? I am used to editing in this type of window. Wait, what did I just record? This? Okay, so first thing I usually do, remove selected file, is raise the volume, because it records really low volume. And then I will go in, I've got another set of audio plugins, which also kind of expensive, because I think it was like $22 a month. I pay a lot of money a month just to podcast, but it's a hobby. I enjoy it, and this plugin really makes editing a lot easier. It's got a thing called mouth declick, which I'll usually run that. It takes care of all those little like smacking noises that end up picking up on the mic. It kind of removes those automatically. Then I will go to restoration, Izotope voice denoise, which kind of removes a lot of the background noise automatically. Okay, and then I'll usually run it through the mouth click filter again, just because it catches a little bit more, I think. And then I will do restoration, isotope, deplosive, and that kind of takes care of the, you know, like the puff of air from like P's and B's. If it hits the microphone just right, you know, it makes like an explosive sound. So that takes those out of the recording. So now I've got a pretty clean recording that I can then go in and, like, you know, fine tune it, fine cut it, like get rid of my ums and weird breath noises and other weird noises, like for example, you can zoom in and you might find like spit noises that it didn't quite filter out, and you can kind of go in and cut those out individually in this little, whatever you call this, little spectrogram or whatever it is. Anyway, so that's that. Now we're going to record something fun, because I also subscribe to ElevenLabs. Like, they had like a text-to-speech thing where, you know, you can have different voices read, you know, a paragraph of text or whatever, or longer. And it's like really, some of them are really lifelike sounding, and they've now added like speech to speech. So I'm going to record something and we're going to test it and see what happens. This is going to be a long video, I apologize. Okay, let me save this first. Save Matt Houston intro raw. We'll call it raw, even though I've done some stuff to it, but that probably doesn't matter. Okay, go back to the multi-track. We will record again. So I just want to test like what happens with this speech-to-speech synthesis on ElevenLabs. Like, is it gonna pick up the different inflections in my voice? Like, will it hear if I change accents, or if I start talking in a different voice? Will it catch that? Is it gonna pick up on my accent, or is it gonna change it to a different accent based on which voice I pick? What's gonna happen here? I'm kind of hoping it'll you know, because you're kind of limited on, well, I should stop talking. You're kind of limited on what, you don't have any control over, like when you do the text-to-speech, you don't have any control over the inflection or whatever, just, and it'll do it like different every time. So you kind of have to like do it several times, maybe to get close to what you want. If, like, for example, my intro for the last podcast, I kind of made like a little audio drama, but I had to like run it through there several times to kind of get the characters to read the lines the way I wanted. And there's like, you know, other compression and other stuff I might do to the vocal sometimes, but since we're just trying to do this quickly, delete that. And I've found out that I click my tongue a lot. I've noticed that doing these videos, so that's another thing I can edit out, like all the times I do like that, because that's annoying. Okay, speech to speech. Let's do this guy. And we're gonna upload a file, speech test again, and hit generate, and see what we end up with. I should have checked the voice settings. There's like different settings you can change, like style exaggeration, and you will get some really unexpected but fun.
So I just want to test like what happens with this speech-to-speech synthesis on ElevenLabs. Like, is it gonna pick up the different inflections in my voice? Like, will it hear if I change accents, or if I start talking in a different voice? Will it catch that?
Is it gonna pick up on my accent, or is it gonna change it to a different accent based on which voice I pick? What's gonna happen here? I'm kind of hoping it'll you know, because you're kind of limited on, well, I should stop talking.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to play around with. Yeah, this is going to be fun to play around with when I do my intros for the podcast every month. I kind of like to do a little skit. And now I have more voices to play with and I can control them better. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Anyway, this is a long video. Apologies for that, but yeah, this is going to be fun to play around with. But I can't play around with it today because I've got to get that podcast done. And also I got to like clean the apartment and stuff because it is a disaster in here. Anyway, check you later.